everybody, Kathy here. Just wanted to do a quick check-in with you all. Presently, I'm in Texas in the Houston area visiting a friend of mine. This was actually the one of the major stops along my full-time RVing trip. Had it gone according to plan, I was going to be in this area during the months of November and December. I wanted to make the Escapees RV 101 class that was happening in Livingston, Texas, the first 2 weekends in November. And then my friend here would take care of rigs and watch my motorhome while I go home for a couple of weeks for Christmas. So this was a plan initially to be here for the 2 months. However, had nothing going on in December and decided to come out here for a couple of weeks because it's usually good weather. At least there's usually sun, and it's sunny, kind of sunny right now. And so later this month, I'll be sharing with you some of the video footage I took of the San Antonio Riverwalk and also the New Bronzeville area, which is hill country, and Old Town Spring and Gruen, spelled G-R-U-E-N-E, pronounced green, but I call it Gruen because that's what it looks like to me. So I've taken a couple of, I guess, house sitting gigs, you might call them. A friend of mine who's watching rigs right now has 2 Maltese dogs. That's the person, my friend, that's got that very cool wine cellar. I'll try to figure out how to put the video where you can get to it, but it was it's on the Hood Canal. Anyway. I'm going to stay there and take care of his dogs and his house, which is like a vacation house, for 10 days from the 14th through the 23rd, something like that. And so that's one. And then a friend of mine in Port Orchard, I was mentioning, she's got some property in Sequim. She said I could stay there if I wanted to kind of get away for free. And then I mentioned I was house sitting for my friend Martin, and she says, well, you can house sit for me the first 2 weekends, or for the first 2 weeks in January, because her and her husband were going to go to Hawaii. So I said, yeah, I'd love to. Now, she doesn't have anything for me to do. She just offered the house. So these aren't necessarily real house sitting jobs. They're just a place for me to kind of hang out and have a change of scenery, give my my kids, my daughter and her husband and grandson, kind of a break from me too. You know, they're a family, and basically the mother-in-law has kind of moved in, you know, so it's kind of both ways. So I said yes, and I don't think she really needs me to do it, but on the other hand, it's a great place to stay, and I think she's got a hot tub, so even better. And okay, so that ends that little story. So I've been watching some of Bob Wells's videos again, just out of sheer boredom as I'm here. And I ran into the RTR schedule, which got, you know, the desire about going to the RTR again. And some of you may remember that my intention has always been to be at the 2019 RTR. Last year, I think I did a video called RTR Envy, and I mentioned that in that video. I really do want to be there. And I'm thinking about doing it. I've done some preliminary work already, trying to get the mileage worked out and how much it's going to cost me in gas and where I'm going to stay and stuff like that. And I'm sure my friend who I said I'd watch her house and sit at her house for 2 weeks while she's in Hawaii will be fine, because she doesn't really need me there. She just offered it as a place for me to kind of get away. And so I'm sure she'll be fine if I change my mind and just say, hey, I'm not gonna house sit now. And anyway, so right now I'm doing the preliminary work. As I said, I've been on Google Maps this morning, and so I know the mileage and the 2 different ways I can go. I'm basically planning on sticking to the 5 and 95 and I-80. And I was going to ask you guys, anyone who's listening, watching, or whatever, and you can email me. There's email in the end in the description here. You can email me too if you don't want to be, you know, publicly viewed. If you have any suggestions on that trip from Washington to Arizona in the winter, please share. I'm interested primarily in the passes and the elevation of the passes and the grade of the passes. And if you have a suggested route, for instance, you know, do you do part 5, part 95, or what do you do? I have traveled the 101, but I've traveled it in good weather and in a car, not in an RV. So that's kind of not, 101 is not really an option for me right now because I still am working on my wrist getting better, of course. So I don't want to do that. And also, if you know of anyone who's going to be going there from Washington who might want to caravan, I'm committed to work through the 31st of December. After that, I'm completely free in January, except, like I said, for that house sitting gig, which is not in stone necessarily. So I could leave as early as the 1st, and I don't want to leave any later than the 2nd. So anyone coming from Washington going on to Arizona for the RTR, or anyone going from like Oregon down to the RTR would love to, who would like to maybe caravan with me, I'd love that. And I'm looking to sticking to the interstates and staying only at rest stops or truck stops or KOAs or Cracker Barrels or Walmarts, anything that's quick on and off the highway. I also don't want to drive more than 6 hours a day. That's the other thing. So if you know anybody who has any interest at all, even if you don't know what their real schedule is, so maybe, you know, hook us up and so we can talk about it. And keep your fingers crossed. Like I said, just doing the preliminary work right now, doing the mapping, figuring out about how much in gas I'm going to need, and we'll see. So fingers crossed. Wish me luck. Take care, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye.